We're back. So when we talked about how people get into debt, now we're going to talk about how people get out of debt and really the effects of debt. So Abbas, 25,000 people, you've got a lot of experiences. So we talked a little bit about, we touched on legal debt and illegal debt, right? Okay. We talked about the differences. How do we then get out of these types of debts?
Okay, there's a lot of difference between illegal and legal debts. The illegal we call along lah, loan shark lah. Okay, for loan shark, usually I will just give them advice what to do and what not. Because this is already under criminal offence. Okay, criminal offence. So a lot of people who took loan shark, they cannot pay. They are afraid that if let's say they lodge a police report, they will be penalised as well. But actually no.
Is that true?
Yeah.
They won't get penalised?
They won't get penalised. Okay. They will go to the police, make a police report. So what the police will do, because it is just a report, there's no investigation officer is being put inside the case yet. It is not a case yet.
But hang on, they're borrowing money illegally from a loan shark, which you call along.
Yeah.
And then if they can't pay back that money, they can... Why do they make a report in the first place? Because
they are being harassed by the along, all these SMS, and then they will send the kind of HDB is being burnt and stuff. So they are so afraid, they don't know what to do. Yeah. And then in their mind, if I make a police report, I will get penalized because I took the money.
Actually, that's not the case.
No. You can go to the police, make a police report. The police will open a report first. This is the question that the police will ask you, will ask these people. Whether your house is being, are you being harassed or your house is being vandalized or what? If not, then it is not considered as a case. It is just a report being made. So something happened to your house, or they will drop you SMS harassment, or they will send death notes, inside your letterbox or stuff, then it will become a case. So because once you make a report, and then something happened to you, it becomes a case, then investigation officer will be assigned to your case. So this is, so usually I will advise these people to go to the police, and then of course I got to condition them first lah. Last time Along used runners. They have runners to go to people and paint, throw paint and put all those.
Oh my gosh!
Right? Last time used to be like
or
that.
Like pigs,
exactly.
Blood,
yeah. So last time
fish.
That is the kind of method.
Yeah,
a lot. Yeah, feces they will throw on your door. Okay. So what happened right now? The Along never use runner anymore. They use people who have outstandings with them.
Oh.
So if you cannot pay, okay, I'll give you this one flat. I'll give you this one house. Okay, you help me to some kind of vandalize and stuff lah, or hang them or make them scared or whatsoever lah. So this stupid guy will think, maybe one time lah. So I don't need to pay my debts. My debt is written off with the Along lah. So I try my luck lah. But the Along already know that you will get caught. The Along already know. But this guy, he don't know. So he just go to the flat and then he will throw all this kind of pain. Less than 1 week, you will definitely be caught.
Then he goes to jail.
He goes to jail. Because of the cameras. You know, everywhere now, HDB also got camera, car park also got camera, and it's connected one to another.
But that's really smart. Then the Along protects himself.
Correct. So they manage to get what they want lah, to get this house is being burnt or being disturbed.
So all of that comes under the umbrella of the illegal world.
Yes.
And what people need to be more aware of is that they don't have to be afraid to report to the police about harassment.
Correct.
But people don't. So they live in this constant fear of the Along. So they can get out of it by making a police report.
Yeah.
And then their loan immediately gets cancelled.
Yeah. The police will advise them to change their phone number. Fix a camera at your peephole at home. Do not contact them anymore. Never pass your account number to this Along, because they will use that account number to, make transaction for all other clients that they have, this Along. And then they will tell you not to transfer any single money to them. This is what the police will advise. At the same time, the police will put under their patrol list. Your house is one of their regular patrollists that they will, so when they do patrol, they will visit your house, outside your house and stuff. At the same time, under your HDB block, they will put that kind of stand, that loan shark harassment, is it? Yeah. So.
But that's not under really your department of what you do.
Exactly.
That is, they come to you and
I will give advice. Yeah.
Give advice. Okay, we're going to talk about how you get people out of debt in a minute. But let's talk a little bit about how being in debt affects people's lives? Like,
Uh,
yeah, what happens to a person when they are in so much debt?
Okay, this debt is a taboo word, very sensitive. So sometimes they are being pressured and they don't know who to share with. Sometimes even the people closest to us is in debt, but we don't know that they are in debt because they don't want to share. Yeah, it's a kind of burden, sleepless night, cannot sleep. And then they will feel like, wow, every month I work just to pay my outstanding, just to pay my interest, just to pay. So they kept to themselves. They don't know how to get out of this situation. Yeah, so what they did is they work more, work part-time, and then sometimes they try to gamble to earn more just to pay their outstandings, and then divorce. So
Alimony.
suicide. Yeah, all this. What's the root cause? Actually, the root cause is because of debt. So when you are in debt, there's a lot of a lot of dangerous things that can happen. Yeah, so that's the root.
Yeah. So we bounce around this word debt all the time. But when we really look at the social, economical, psychological pressures and consequences of being in, and I'm talking about a lot of debt, right? You know, to a 20-year-old, $7,000 is a lot of money. Maybe to a 30, 40-year-old, $100,000, $50,000 is like, it's just terrible. Have you ever experienced that, Bruce?
Of course I have.
Well, share with us then.
So, remember a few weeks ago we did the shoot, the recording on
Gambling.
gambling.
Yeah.
And I shared that first 3 months of the casino being open, I lost over $1,000.
And what? Okay, so the $200,000 you lost, it was your own money.
My own money.
And then was that you have to pay off anybody?
No, I did not have to pay off. But even the pressure of losing my own money, it's great. What about, if mine is so great, then what about those that owes money? You know, so to me is always this. I heard you saying about this young chap that owed $7,000.
Yes.
My question is, why at this age is he in such a debt? Number one. It tells me that people are spending above their means, right? So my advice would be spend within your means. Number two, there's nothing so great that's so difficult to settle that you would need to go to the along to borrow money.
So have you ever experienced anything where you had to pay an increase?
For me, no, but I know someone who had a vehicle incident, not an accident. It's more like they went out with their friend to drink, and on the way back, the friend, they needed to use the washroom, so they got out of the car, used the washroom, came back, and then the friend who was inebriated got behind the wheel. Yeah, and so you know what happens after that. And what's more, it's a rental car, so every month they get paid, they have to put aside a large sum of it to get to pay back the rental company.
Oh dear.
Shada, I tell you,
Yeah.
this friend of mine, she had a credit card which she maxed out at $5,000. 10 years down the road, she's still paying minimal
Oh my.
for
So
$5,000.
we're
debt.
really looking at how indebtedness affects our lives, and we're also looking at how, Abbas, do you agree that there's a certain sort of like, okay, this is difficult because there's a certain sort of recklessness to money management, but like what Dharmi and Bruce were saying, sometimes people get into debt because of bills and unforeseen, unfortunate circumstances. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly. Because not everyone in debt is due to excessive spending or mismanagement of their funds. One of the case is actually this client took care of his mother due to the hospitalization bills and stuff, the spendings, and he don't get any grants from the government or any help, so he got to use his credit card. So until today, I mean, his mother just passed away few months back, so now he's left with debt. So he came to me and I've assisted him. And the next question is how people get out of debt legally, on the legal side.
Yes, yes.
Actually, there's plenty of scheme in the market, a lot of programs, but people don't know about all these programs. Even they know about this program, they don't know how to apply it. Okay, there's DCP schemes in the market, debt consolidation plan, debt management program, repayment assistance scheme, debt repayment scheme. Bankruptcy is also one of the solution to to someone who have a huge amount of debt. You can negotiate as well. So they don't know which route is the best way to settle their outstandings. Yeah. So, and then certain schemes that you want to apply, it is not as simple as you just fill up a form and then submit, you wait for approval. No. It requires affidavits to be prepared. It requires e-legislation letters, something that people are not familiar with. Yeah. So this is what I do.
Right.
Yeah, and assist people who are in this kind of situation to apply. And of course, I will funnel them through, filter them, which will be the best program for their situation.
But what I'm very interested to know is, Mr. Abbas mentioned about declaring bankrupt being one of the avenues that people could clear their debt. Is it that bad to declare bankruptcy?
It is not as bad as what people thought. But this word bankruptcy is, it's not a good word. Since young, we heard of this word bankruptcy. Bankruptcy is a bad image and stuff. But bankruptcy is actually one of the best way to get out of debt. Especially when your outstanding amount is too big, 1.4 million, 1 million. My highest client who have an outstanding of $1.4 million. Outstanding. How is he going to pay this outstanding? 1.4 million. So what he did, he met me. I told him bankruptcy is one of the best solutions. Right now he's inside bankruptcy. Now 1 month he's paying $100. For 52 months, that's only $5,200, and then the 1.4 million waived.
But how can banks do that? Don't banks know they will lose money if they do that?
Yeah, every business there's a risk. Countries do not like people to go to bankruptcy. Yeah, it's not good for the country image. Singapore is a business hub. A lot of people from overseas come into Singapore to apply, to do business and stuff. So big investors will look to the detail how many people bankruptcy in Singapore. Singapore have the healthiest bankruptcy list in the world, just for your info.
Let's talk about that. What do you mean by a healthy bank? So we have a small margin of people who declare bankrupt.
Due to this program called Debt Repayment Scheme. It was initiated in 2009. Singaporeans is very lucky that there is such program which is called Debt Repayment Scheme in Singapore to save people, to avoid people to go bankruptcy.
Right.
So this program, in the whole wide world, there's only 6 countries adopt this program, and Singapore is one of them. Korea, Australia, New Zealand, and another 2 countries. England,
So that was all about us talking about how people get out of debt and the many stories of how indebtedness affects people's lives. We're going to move on to part 3, where we talk a little bit about what Abbas does and how he counsels people.